Welcome to the Printed by Mama podcast with me, your host, Kirsty Field, supporting small business owners, entrepreneurs, creatives and crafters, encouraging you guys at home to just keep crafting and create a life you love without sacrificing yourself or your family. Each week I'll be bringing you inspiration, support and guidance on how to turn that hobby or side hustle into your dream job. And I'll be joined by some amazing guests who are already living their dreams. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Welcome friends, it's your host Kirsty Field here as always, wife, mama, small business owner, mentor and the craziest crafty lady. Well, I would probably say I'm one of the craziest, may not the craziest. I don't know whether there's an award or something like that. I'm definitely going to look into it, but enough jibber jabbering about me. We are here for another one of our fantastic Sunday socials and I am joined by a very truly talented lady today. She is the owner of Franki and Me, and she's going to tell us all about it and what she does and how she does it. And she juggles being engaged and having a little one and just generally being a bloody fabulous lady. Please welcome Becky Belcher, and she's from Franki and Me. As I say, hello Becky, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. Are you?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, it's been one of them days this morning. I had a bit of a slow start, but we're rocking and rolling and ready to go now. Yes,
I think
definitely.
it's a bank holiday. It's slow for everyone.
It is. We are recording on a bank holiday today. So yeah, it's one of it's always a weird day because it just throws the whole week, I think, because it's that extra tag on and then you're into the next week and it's, chaotic. But we're here and we're living the dream, aren't we, Chick?
We are, definitely.
Good stuff. Why don't you start by telling all of our friends in the community at PBM a little bit about Franki and Me? Because I've obviously been having a little nose on your socials and things and your Etsy and all sorts, and I think it's bloody fabulous. But share with us, tell us what it is that you do.
Thank you. So obviously, Frankie and Me's my little, I'd say, small business, which I started once I'd had my little girl, Frankie, which is what inspired me to call it Frankie and
Love
Me.
it, love it.
I do everything for her and she just inspired me. So obviously
Aww.
once I was on maternity leave and I was just relaxing at home with baby. When she was napping, I needed something to do. I've always been a crafty person, so I felt a bit useless. I could have been cleaning, but let's get priorities.
Love it. Lady after
So
my own heart.
exactly. And then my mom's crafty as well, and this is how we've been brought up. And I thought I want to do something. And I could knit before, but it takes a little while, and I would say I'm impatient. So she was like, try crochet. So when Frankie was napping, I'd get it out, and I just starting off with little dummy blankets,
Oh.
and then from then it led to baby blankets, and then I did a little few colours in that, and I was like, that's not enough, that's not me. And then my mama actually, because she crochets herself, made a little origami like crochet plushie
Mm-hmm.
for my daughter of a giraffe because it's my daughter's favourite animal.
Ah.
And then once she did that, that's where I kind of thought, this is what I want to do. I don't want to do baby blankets. I want to do little teddies, little crochet plushies for other little children. And that's what Frankie and Me is. I make all sorts of crochet plushies handmade by myself. They take absolute hours. There's so much love and hard work put into them. And I'm quite a perfectionist, so it definitely takes 10 times longer to make anything. But I make things from giraffes, turtles, bees. So obviously my new venture with buying crochet patterns, which is like an addiction, and my partner definitely doesn't appreciate it. But it's dinosaur snugglers and it's also like giraffe snugglers. So basically just the head and the neck is stuffed and the rest of the body is obviously not stuffed, so it's nice and flimsy, so it's perfect for cuddling.
Love it.
And I've just currently tested a pattern, which was a first for me. So I tested it for the Cozy Stitch and Co. on
Wow.
Instagram, who has like 18,000 followers, and
Wow.
I've brought some of her patterns before, and I think I've got about 800 followers on Instagram. So
Oh,
I
that's
enter,
amazing.
I enter them, and I never expect anything. And
Yeah.
then when she was like, "Please test this animal," and it was a giraffe, so it was my daughter's like perfect
That
animal.
was fate, that was, wasn't it? You know, that was meant to be.
Exactly. And I just couldn't believe it that I got the opportunity. So I tested it. I gave feedback. She's obviously published the pattern now. And my daughter's got a giraffe snuggler, which
Ah.
she loves. So that was just amazing. And that's basically what Frankie and me is crocheting plushies, which I love. And if I don't sell them, then it looks like I'll just get to keep and snuggle them all. So that's not a problem. But I do love the idea of when I get photos from customers of their little ones just snuggling it, it really does melt my heart. And
Oh,
that's
I bet.
exactly why I do it.
I bet. Oh, honey, do you know what comes across so much in your story? Just from everything, from the way you started and the way that obviously you've named it after Frankie, which that just completely melts my heart. You know, as a mum of myself, as the community know, that to me is so important. And I love the way that obviously you come from a crafting background. You know, your mum crafts, and that you know, it clearly runs through the family. And Frankie obviously is going to be exactly the same as you, and Nanny, of course, at some point. But it's so obvious, and I hope this comes across the way we're speaking to each other. I'm sure it will to the community. They'll agree that you just give so much love and so much care and attention into what you do. It really comes across, and even from the way that you've sort of written your descriptions, and obviously, as I say, I've been having a look at the bits and pieces. I've got my eye on a little bee. I'm not gonna lie. Me being a busy bee, that is me down to a T. So I've got my eye on one of those, but you can just see the love in what you make. And you said something there that just is the epitome of what I try and teach here, and the values of the community that I'm trying to build, in that the money is a byproduct, and you being able to see, if you are lucky enough to make a sale, just being able to see the reaction of your audience and the people who've received that and how much they love it and how much it means to them is, would you agree, worth way more than any amount of money could ever give you?
Oh, it's just amazing. I'd rather receive photos from people than anything. The money, as you said, it's an advantage. It keeps me going and
Hmm.
allows me to keep on crafting them. But
Yeah,
receiving the photos and the reviews back from people, I've had a video of a teenager on Christmas opening a crochet jellyfish that I did,
love it.
and to see the excitement in her face, I was like, "This is why I do it." And like, I don't want to stop. And I'm like, I don't get like hundreds of sales. Like, I sell one here, there, and when I do market stalls. But as soon as you get that little sale or that little review, it's just why I do it. I
Yeah.
don't do it for the money to think, oh, I'm going to become a millionaire with this small business.
Hmm. Hmm.
I just love making them in my spare time. Personally, I just think they're so cute. And
They
as I
they
said,
are
it's
super cute. I mean, I'm going to give you all the tags and the links and everything so that you can go and find Frankie and me for yourself, folks. But they are so cute. And
thank
you
you.
know, I want to snuggle a one myself. We all sometimes need a little snuggle, you know. And these are definitely the way to go about it. I'm going to come on to. I'm gonna, you know, give some time to the elephant in the room with me, okay? So you guys will know already. The community knows that I am obviously crazy crafty lady, as I have titled myself. Titled. I make candles, bath products. I knit, I sew, I do vinyl. You know, pretty much paper craft. You name it, craft wise, I have done it. Right? Crochet is my bloody nemesis, and has been for years, right? And we talked about this briefly, didn't we, Becky? Right? I said to you that crochet is my nemesis, and
Yeah.
I have attempted crochet over the years multiple times, and for whatever reason it just will not click with me. I think it's a tension thing, and like I say, I can knit, no problem, but for some reason crochet just gets me, and I end up in a knotted, balled, sobbing on the floor, and that's just me, not the wool, right? That's just me, mess, every time I try. But do you think I've gotten rid of my crochet stuff? Hell no. I'm not
No.
giving up on that, but I do get it out every few months and give it a try. And you've gone into the exact sort of path, the exact sort of niche that I wanted to do. I wanted to do the sort of cute kawaii characters and stuff similar to my QTO brand that I draw. That's the route I wanted to go down with doing crochet. I am stumped, girl. What is your secret? How the bloody hell? You need to sit with me over a glass of wine or a coffee or something and just and get me doing it, because I am determined to do it before I leave this plane. I tell you, what is the secret?
Honestly, I don't know. For me, I've knitted before,
Mm,
and that just didn't sit with me. It was taking a long time, and
hmm
it wasn't what I saw as perfect. And obviously, being a perfectionist, I was like, this isn't all
Yeah,
right.
that's tough. Yeah, yeah.
And I tried crochet, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because my mum teaching me, and that she was just amazing. Obviously, she's so patient with me and
Oh,
helping me
bless
with
her.
everything. And we are a little dream team. When I've done craft stalls, she makes bits to put on as well.
Oh,
She loves it just as much as me, and I can't thank her enough for teaching me. And it's just the time and the effort that you put in. And if I'm honest, not to brag, but I took quite easily, I'd say, to crocheting.
hun, you brag away. That is what this bloody podcast is for. I am inviting you guys on here to brag, and you should be. So you take a second to brag. Go for it.
I don't know. I can't remember ever being at a stump. I might have been a stump when it comes to like the magic rings and the magic circles, and obviously now I'm doing like half double crochet increases. That's where it gets a little intense. But to say when I started off, you're just doing rows and you keep going up and up to do, like I said, the dummy blankets. Once you've mastered that, and as you said, you've mastered the tension, there's no stopping you, and it motivates you to, when you see obviously the patterns and you see what the finished product should look like, it motivates you to, I hope mine looks like this. I'm going to put all my hard work in, 'cause if it doesn't look like this, I will cry.
All right, all right. Now you're just showing off, and I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I am just bitter because I can't do it. It sucks. It's like the one thing that in terms of me doing other crafts and things over the years, I've talked already in previous podcasts about my venture into candle making and the big mess that probably, well, would have almost definitely started some sort of house fire if I tried to light the first candle that I had made. But I persevered and continued on, and then I made badass candles at the end of it. But yeah, crochet just every single time. But me and you are gonna have a session, I'm sure, at some point, and you are going to
Definitely.
help me battle that nemesis without a doubt. I want to talk to you a little bit about Instagram, because you spoke about Instagram already, and I know you're on TikTok as well, and your other socials. I am quite a novice when it comes to the other socials, right? Because I'm an old fart when it comes to a lot of tech stuff, and I'm still back from the MySpace generation, that pre Facebook. So Facebook is still really the only. As of right this second, when we're recording this podcast, Facebook is the only social that I'm on. I will be coming to Insta. That's going to be the first one, and then obviously TikTok and everything else will follow. But I'm just keen to know, how do you find the time in terms of incorporating that into your business? Because we've talked about this again before on other podcasts, and especially with other guests. It is like running a second business, right? You've got all your crafting, you've got your uploading to your shop, and doing all the fun stuff, as I refer to it. But then you've got this whole social media presence. It's like a second business, right?
Definitely, because like if you don't post regularly or
Hmm
go off the radar for a little bit, it
Yeah.
can really impact it, because you want to keep your potential customers or just viewers, because they like seeing what you do,
hmm
or fellow crocheters. If you drop off and you stop posting, you do tend to lose a couple of people. So it's just so much to try, and I know with Facebook that I think you can actually like time posts and set it up
Schedule.
so they
Yeah, yeah.
automatically post. Yeah, whereas Instagram, well, from what I know of it, you can't do that. So
hmm
it's just the fact of, might help the fact that I have my own personal Instagram account, so I kind of know. But I tend to check there daily, because a lot of the customers I follow, as I said, are like baby based, so I get to see all the cute baby photos. I get to give them all a like, and it's so cute, and seeing the little customers with their little crochets. I love it, and just it's about setting a time where it tends to be when Frankie's asleep
Mhm.
and after I've finished work, considering I work 9 to 5, 5 days a week. So that's another big challenge
Well,
that I have to
that's what
face.
I was going to come on to, right? Because like you are the definition of super mum right now. Yeah, I know we've already mentioned you're on maternity leave, but this woman works full time, guys. You know, this is not her full time. This is a small business at the moment, and I'm sure she's going to tell us in a second about all the hopes and goals and dreams that she has moving forward for Frankie and me. But she's doing this full time, alongside, a full time social media job that she's currently doing and your full time admin job. And that's got to be tough to try and juggle all that time with a newborn as well. You are a superwoman, hun.
Thank you. As I said, when I was on maternity, it was fine because as soon as baby slept, that's when I got it out and cracked on.
Yeah.
But to be honest, since I returned to work, which I think was last June, so it wasn't that long ago,
Mhm.
really,
Mhm.
that's when I started to do the plushies as well. So not only did I come back off maternity, I went back to full-time work, but I also ventured into the plushies as well. So it was all a lot of happening. And to be honest, it's just I do my 9 to 5 job. I come home. Luckily, sometimes I work from home, so I don't have to do the travel and socialising, I should say. But
It's not always a bad thing to not do any socializing. Yeah,
yeah,
it's one of those,
exactly.
isn't it?
Yeah, I need a bit of time. So once that's done, and I don't like to do it whilst Frankie's awake because obviously I want to spend as much time with her as possible. I like
Precious
to
time.
play.
Precious time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
These are key. She's coming up to 2, so she
Oh.
needs all these social cues and to socialise, play, get her speech up and everything. So I tend to do it when she either naps in the day or when she goes to bed, which is like a 9 o'clock on a night. So it's a lot of early mornings, late nights, and quick in a nap time.
Mhm. Mhm. But that's what it's about, isn't it? It's juggling, and if it's something that you love and it's something that you're passionate about, I've said it before, you have to find the time, you have to make the time, and sometimes you have to sacrifice certain things in order to push yourself forward, in order to get to where you want your business to be. And it's difficult in those early stages. I'm still in the inception stage here with PBM, and I am throwing, although this is full time for me, I'm still throwing 12 to 14 hours a day at this right now. And you, as I say, superwoman, fantastic mama, and small business owner, and worker. I'm sure your full-time place would agree on that. And you are doing it, girl. You are juggling and clearly doing a fantastic job. What are your sort of, where do you hope to take Frankie and me moving forwards? I mean, I know you said we've talked and touched briefly on the fact that you love what you do, and having the time to do it. And we talked about, money being a byproduct and you just doing it for the satisfaction, and really to put yourself out there. And that's what you love about it. Would you like more? Is there further growth room? Where do you want to take this?
Honestly, I think it's every person's small business dream. I'd like it to go as far as possible.
Hmm.
I'd love to obviously expand and get lots of customers or just lots of followers on Instagram, just viewing, saying, "Oh, this is lovely." Because even receiving compliments, it's so lovely to hear that it's not just me that loves them and gets obsessed with them. It's
It's
also other
not you being
people.
crazy. These things are actually decent because other people like them. Yeah, it's that
Exactly.
confirmation, isn't it, that you are on a path not just to satisfy your self needs, but also that there is an audience for what you're doing. That's really important.
Exactly, and as I said, I'd like it to go as far as it could. I'd like it to blow up and be like the Cozy Stitch and Co. They sell patterns and all that sort of stuff, and I'd love it. I'd love to sell as many plushes as I can just to get them out there and people
Hmm.
loving them and squishing them. Because I know when I was little, I had thousands of teddies. There was my brother saving his money, and there's me going to arcades and going on the grabbing machines.
Hmm.
Might just be a girl thing, you never know,
It's
or a little
oh.
sister thing because he always used to win than me. But I'd love to take it as far as everyone allows me, or as far as I can go until it comes to the point where I'm either exhausted or anything like that. Because I'd love to make my own crochet patterns. That is something. I am trying to look into. My partner encourages me to do it all the time because I'm here adjusting patterns and creating my own little mini bee patterns and all this stuff.
Hmm.
And he's like, you should do it. You should put them on, whether it's a free pattern to start off or a
That's it.
paid one, anything. I'd love to venture that way. But I would like, I think it's only small person's dreams. I would like it to go big. But you know what? Even a customer every year or a customer every month. I don't care. It's just, I love making them and I'm only going to stop if I ever get fed up with them. But the way
Oh,
they turn out cute to me, I think I'm just going to end up with loads.
I love so much that positivity from you, and it's very very clear that you do just absolutely bloody love it, Becky, and yeah, exactly like you said. So many people are focused on. I did a whole podcast recently about validation by numbers, right, and the fact that people are so focused on the amount of likes they have and the amount of sales that they have coming in, but there's so much more to being a small business owner and being a creative, and just the satisfaction from putting yourself out there and getting any sort of gratification from that, even if it's not from anybody else, if it's just gratifying yourself in putting your product out there to the world, just exposing that. You don't have to necessarily get comments and likes and things like that. Those things are amazing, don't get me wrong, and they do absolutely perk you up. They boost you up, don't they? But
Yeah,
just being able to have the courage to take that step and make something and put it on your social or put it out there or show it to a work colleague or a family member or something like that. Just doing that, you should be so bloody proud of just taking that first step, and you are already way ahead of that. You're already out there getting the sales and the comments and the things like that, but you are so positive about the fact that if it leads to something else, where it goes, where it takes me, I am so open to that. But I am just happy with doing it, just doing it for me,
exactly.
and that's
I
so
just,
lovely.
to be honest, I think the fact that what amazes me the most is the fact that you can turn literally a ball of wool into a little animal creation or a little creation in itself. That's what I think gets me excited because every time I do a new animal, it gets me excited because I'm like,
Hmm.
how am I turning this ball of wool into
Exactly.
what I personally think is this super cute, adorable animal? That's what amazes me every single time I do an animal.
That's it. And that is being a creative. You are taking something and making it into something else. And everybody's interpretation and version and it will be different every time for everybody. Even if you're following a pattern exactly like you've said, everybody's end result will be completely different because it depends on your process, it depends on your strategy, it depends on how you do things, and it's your skill and your determination and your heart and soul that you put into that product that gives you that end result. And I completely agree with you, there is no greater satisfaction than taking a lump of wood or a piece of card or a ball of wool or a pack of candle wax and making something out of it. That is the greatest feeling in the world, right?
Yeah, definitely.
It is, without a shadow of a doubt. And I know that there are, I say on this podcast a lot, that there are people at all different stages in their small business or hobby or side hustle journey, and I want this channel so much to be open to everybody, no matter what stage that they're in, right? Because it doesn't matter where you are, there's going to be somebody that's behind you and there's going to be somebody that's ahead of you. So your experience at that stage is invaluable no matter where you are in that journey, because you're going to be able to advise and talk to and stimulate those people that are behind you that want to get to where you are right now. But also by using the community, you're going to be able to talk to those people who are ahead of you to get you those steps forward to where you want to be. And yeah, your positivity just comes across so much, honey. It's fantastic. We're going to cycle back just a little bit to what you talked about with patterns, because that was a question that I was going to ask you, and I'm so glad you brought it up. that you wanted to evolve and move into this other part of the business, which is creative patterns. And you're talking about doing the adaptations to the ones that you've got already, which is how I've done that in the past when I've taught. I've potentially found a way or a method of doing things. I've learned it for myself. Then you make adaptations, you make changes, and you develop it into your own way of teaching other people to do things. That's such an exciting branch to your business, isn't it, to be adding that in? I'm so glad that you mentioned that you want to do it. Is there any other branches of the business that potentially you would look at going down, as well as continuing to create but also doing the pattern side of things? Is there any other bits or even extra things that you've looked at adding to the business?
See, I think for the minute, obviously, it's mainly just creating the beautiful plushies. But as I said, it would be the crochet patterns.
Hmm.
And I think that's the main bit where I'd like to say, whether the plushies are as in like key rings or anything like that. It's just, I think this is where I'm meant to be. I love
Hmm.
teddies, and I think that's the main reason why I do what I do. So I think for me, it's mainly sticking with these little plushies, but I would also like, I'm thinking of investing in like it's a leather little band that you can like clip onto the side of the plushie
Oh my God, I have
with
them.
the
I
Frankie with the
have them.
Frankie bead brand, exactly, just to show, like, to label it, to say when people have got it, like, oh, I made that, and I think it adds a little bit extra, and it just makes me so happy.
Hmm.
And I'd like that. I'd also like to try and add initials onto teddies, or even names at some point,
Hmm.
to make that little plushie an extra little bit special. Not the fact that it's just a plushie, the fact that it's got this child or this adult or anyone, this person's initial on, to make it personal. Because I love personalised
Oh
things.
yeah, don't we
That's a
all?
big thing for me. So that's, I think, if it's not crochet patterns, it's trying to like incorporate names or initials into the plushies themselves.
Hmm. It's so much potential. And I mean, the pattern side of things is a whole different ball game, because it's the automation, isn't it, of that side of the business, that
Yeah,
once you've done the pattern, you've written the pattern, you've potentially uploaded it to your Etsy shop and things as a digital design that then gets down. That's a whole side of the business that is going to be relatively easy for you to, not necessarily in the initial outlay to get it up and running, but you once it's up there, it's done, and that side of the business runs itself, because that's all
exactly.
automated. You set it up. For those of you who don't know, you can, once you do a digital upload to Etsy as a product to sell, you can set it all up so that the emails automatically go out, the pattern automatically goes out to people, and it's done. And obviously you've then got the option of the automation of relisting and things like that on Etsy. So once you do that initial legwork to get the pattern done, get it up, get the content written for it, and you add it all on, that will just resell and resell and resell, and you don't have to, apart from monitor it and obviously
Yeah.
reply to messages and things like that. It's all self-automated. So a great part of a business to look at adding on. Becky, we're coming close to time, unfortunately, and I could talk to you for forever about crochet and the fact that I can't do it, but we could talk for hours about it. But I'm so excited for you. There is so much potential, and I'm thrilled, and I'm really excited to see where you move Frankie and me too, and those developments and those little extras. I think all those sorts of things are fantastic, and they're just going to build your business and your clientele,
Thank
and
you.
you're doing what you're loving. And girl, social media, we can find you on Insta. We said Frankie and me, obviously on Facebook. You've got a slightly different name. It's Handmade by Becky Amy, right, on Facebook?
Yeah, because obviously as a crafter, that was my name before, but it
Yeah.
didn't stick right. And then when I did the crochet plushies and everything, I was obviously named it after my daughter, and that's where I needed that change,
Yeah.
and it stuck a lot better.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you 100%. And on Etsy, we're Frankie and Me Shop. All of the handles and everything are going to be listed in the show notes for you, so that you can go and find Becky and her amazing items over on Frankie and Me. And you
Thank
definitely need
you.
to go and find her and get something to cuddle. That is all I can say. We all need a cuddle. So make sure you are going onto the socials and finding her. Whilst you're on social media, of course, I want you to go and find the Printed by Mama Facebook page. page, the Printed by Mama community group, which I know Becky is a part of, and if you want to ask her any questions, I'm sure she would be happy to answer. Make sure you are part of the community. It is a community, and like we've talked about today, everybody's at different phases of their journey, and there'll always be somebody who's ahead of you if you want to get motivation and inspiration and help, but there'll always be people behind you. And if you can be a person that is out there helping, motivating, inspiring people to get to you are, that would be amazing. That is what the PBM community is all about. Becky, thank you so much. It has been an absolute pleasure. You give Frankie a big hug and a kiss from me, and I look forward to chatting to you and potentially having you back in a few months' time and seeing how you're getting on and chatting again if you're up for it.
I'd love to, because I feel like we could chat for days about crocheting and crafts and everything. I'm more than up for it. And thank you very much for having me on and taking the time today to talk to it with me, because this is my first ever time, and it's so lovely to get it out and talk to a fellow crafter, because we're all the same at heart.
We are. That's what it's all about. That is Printed by Mama for you. We are a community. We are all together. And thank you again, Becky. Everybody, it's been a pleasure as always. Sunday Social, my favourite podcast to do, just to talk to somebody else out there, generally about crafting, who is as crazy as I am. Becky, thank you again. Everyone, thank you for listening. And I will be back with you again next Sunday with another amazing guest. We'll see you then, folks. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.